Miss Jody here with my third update on how things are going at the center. Last video I showed you the Easter bunnies that were born. I'm going to show you how big they are now. Only 2 of them survived. 2 just weren't, I guess, feeding and didn't make it. But I will show you them. But also, before that, I just want to show you what's been being done here with our flood in our new animal room. Mr. Gary did have to gut the whole animal room, and all the floor was torn out, and he's been working really hard and has gotten this whole floor put in. We've got some of the things back here. It looks different, obviously, because with the counter being pulled out and us looking behind it and all that and trying to repair some of the damage, came up with the idea of maybe moving the counter into the smaller room. So right now, this is not probably going to be its final positioning or the animals on it, but right now we do have the counter in this smaller room. That way we could have our animals all in one particular room, or the majority of them, for being taken care of. You can see the refrigerator's been moved down there. And then we could have this bigger room be more open for whenever we have our groups and stuff in the summer, because you know how crowded the animal room is. And so once the counter was pulled off of the wall, I thought, wow, we could really change this up. So Mr. Gary, like I said, did a wonderful job. You see this floor. This was an inexpensive fix for us right now. Mr. Gary put together, and if it does flood again, then even the trim that he put around the side is made out of a certain wood that wouldn't rot really easily. And we are still going to try to get the fix from the water coming in. We've done some things outside, but our estimates were really high, between $7,000 one of them was, and $9,000 for waterproofing it. So we don't have that kind of money right now, so we've done some other drainage things outside, and we're hoping that'll be a fix there. The birds are just being chirpity here, so I thought I'll zone in on them. Hi guys. So they're doing pretty well, and our little sugar glider girl, let's see if she'll come out and see us, see what she's doing in there. Girl, let's see if I can get you. I'm trying not to talk in my little pretend British Australian accent that I do when I start talking to the animals. That Winford reminded me of my pattern there. I'm trying to not be all like, oh my goodness, hello baby. But I almost can't not talk like that. I try. Oh, there she is. Hi, girl. All right, well, she's in there doing pretty well. But as you can see, this room is really a lot bigger and will give us a lot of room. We're going to put some benches along the walls for our groups. So hopefully, oh, and also on this big wall back here, we're hoping to talk with our graphic artist, Nick Reinfeld, who is on our board, and see if he can create a big wall mural that is dedicated to the complexity of life and how amazing the living world is, and maybe big colorful living creatures, and just make this almost like an exhibit room too, maybe focusing on classification or characteristics of life, basically all the biology stuff. So that big wall, if we can put a big huge bright mural on that, that would be super cool. And again, some benches along the wall to make this really accessible for our groups. Oscar's still in doing well. I just cleaned all their cages yesterday and gave them all fresh bedding. And he's down in here somewhere. Let's see where you're at, baby. You have to be here. Last night we had a board meeting, so I worked late last night. There he is. He's not very happy about me getting his bedding off. Hi, baby. Being shy? Okay, I'll let you alone. But we had a board meeting via the Zoom app. Or the Zoom software. And so I stayed late last night and showed the board members what we have with our new room and how that's coming along. And they liked that. So, but Oscar was very active last night at the board meeting, but he's hiding now. New bedding for these girls. The shredder that we have for our paper, we're keeping our snakes and reptiles in the paper so that there's no chance of harboring any mites. But well, I can't find them down there. They're hiding down there. Maybe underneath there. You might be able to see. Oh, there we go. See the little... That's Athena down there. She's underneath. They like this new shredder that Miss Carol Ann got us, or gave us from her old business. It shreds in these long strips instead of the powdered up stuff, or the little chopped stuff. So Caramel Cord's down in there somewhere. She actually ate last night, but it was during the board meeting, so I didn't get to film it, or I would have filmed that for you. And then there's Rosie. Hello, Rosita. Hi, girl. Just gave you some, I gave her some, what are they, crickets, and she was just going to town. She just loves those crickets. I'm going to give you some more, girl. You want some crickets? Girl, here we go. Here comes some crickets, if I can get any out for you. You ready, girl? I'm going to give you a cricket or two. Oh, boy, or 10, apparently. Then I'm giving you, uh-oh. Now you're going to be overfed. Yeah, now you have too many. Some under there? Get it, girl, get it. You like your crickets, don't you? You might have, oh, now she sees them. I have the container right outside the glass, and she thinks she's going to be able to get them. Girl, it's on the outside. Let me move it. Hi, Sally, girl. What torment. All right, we got our cockroaches. And these guys you haven't seen before. These are little dwarf hamsters. I don't know if that's mom or pop, but we got a set in there that we're going to breed and help us with some food for our little snakes. I know you don't like to hear that, but it's true. Sometimes we need that. Then we got little, hey, what are you eating at? You're eating that from the cockroach cage. What are you doing? Yeah, little girl there. Just stop it. What are you eating that for? Move that away from you, goose. And we've got the hedgehog down here. Hey, Sleepy Pants. You probably hiss at me. Oh, sorry. Hey, okay. Don't get so cranky. Hello. Hello, Cranky. Trying to sleep? How rude. I'm sorry. I'm so rude. And then we've got Mama. And check out these bunnies. I mean, these little guys have really grown in that short time. Look at them. But again, there's only 2 left of the Easter bunnies, because one day I came in not too long after the first video, and one she had separated from the group, which they do sometimes. It was a runt. I tried to put it back, and I tried to keep it warm, but the next day I came in and it passed away. And then the next day I saw the same thing happen, and that one I did the same thing and tried to replace it, but it didn't work. But the rest it's still a real mess here. I'm trying to get all these cages cleaned up. I'm gonna, all the damage to the floor, I'm gonna try to work on maybe tonight. I guess it's getting late, almost 7, so maybe not tonight, maybe tomorrow after I get some work done. But we'll get all that cleaned up and reset. And our other bearded dragons are still out here right now. I gotta clean their cages and get them all reset. There's Ziggy, there's Sandstorm. And then we have the turtles. We're still working on getting this pond settled with these turtles. It's a big mess. And we're filling up the water and getting them cleaned up today. And then little turtle guy over here still doing good, and our little fish. And we have Sammy still down in here somewhere. One good thing, can't really see it. Let me put it on this side. Sammy's down in there somewhere. One good thing is during this time, 2 of the snakes wouldn't eat last week. They eat frozen mice that we thaw, or small rats, and they wouldn't eat. And during this time, with like how much it costs to feed them and everything, I thought, well, if you don't want it, maybe I'll just put it in Sammy's cage, because Sammy and Penelope, they were both rescues that were brought to us that already ate the live food. And it's really hard to get a snake that eats live food. This is Penelope, this big girl, to eat frozen dead food, but you sort of have to raise them on that. And so I just didn't think, well, maybe, I thought, I'll throw it in Sammy's cage. If nobody else is going to eat it, maybe Sammy will eat it. And he did. And he ate both of them, the two mice that the one snake didn't eat, or the two snakes didn't eat. So that saved me a good amount, because that stuff is real expensive. So I gave that to Sammy, and he ate that. And I don't know if Penelope would do that, but would love to get them to be able to eat the frozen instead of having to feed them live mammals. This is other bunny. What do you guys call it? DJ? Or, I forget. Yeah, I think I just call it Bunny. I call it Daddy Bunny now, because this is the daddy of the babies. He's doing good. Hi, baby. So, but still pretty. We did get some of this stuff cleaned up, that where the cabin was all flooded out, and Miss Olivia Kate and her mother came in, and they went through all, you can see a lot of the shelves are empty because a lot of stuff did get damaged in our flood, but we were able to save some of it and get that cleaned up, and hopefully we will continue that process. But other than that, it's just all quiet here and looks like a big mess, but we're working every day to get it together, and one day it'll be all put back together, and then I'll give you a good video and we'll say yay, and maybe one day we'll be back together and you can come see it for yourself. Okay, so I miss all you guys. I hope you're doing well. See you soon.